No, no. Shikha, mute.
Hi everyone, a very good evening. So today we have Kalpan Vagela from Datamatics team, and he is here. So I'll just unshare my screen first of all.
Yeah, and also mute everyone else, Anjana, and enable chat also.
Sure. Why are people joining in the panelist is my question. However, so Kalpan is from the data engineering team of Datamatics, and today he's here to run us with the TrueBot of Datamatics as a tool for RPA. And I'm just going to remove some people from panelists perhaps, and then we'll have Kalpan start. Kalpan, over to you. In the meanwhile, I'll just do the required thing in the chat and all.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Anjana, for giving me my brief introduction. Let me share my screen first.
Okay. Yeah, I think Shikha did this. I mean, it seems like your link has gone to many people.
So in the panelist, can I have people who are not panelists raise their hand? That would be great, because I think we have Shikha's link which was shared, and maybe we have a lot of people who have joined via it. One request would be if you can go on mute, and second would be if you can kindly let me know if you are not a panelist.
Just put the participant link in the chat, Anjana, and then just remove them.
Sure.
So that they can, yeah.
Shall I start, or should we wait for a couple of more minutes?
So Kalpan, you start.
Yeah.
Hope this session is being recorded.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Thanks, Anjana, for introducing me. I'm Kalpan Vagela from Datamatics. Performing as a manager, as a title and technical architect for the product engineering team. Today we are going to basically learn about what RPA is and one of the module within the RPA from Datamatics product support, right? And we'll keep on going. So I'll ask the participant if they have any questions. They can ask as and when. They can unmute themselves, or they can put a question into the chat, and questions are welcome basically. Don't hesitate to ask any question. You can pause me any moment. So this is my profile, having over 14 years of experience in product engineering, cloud, AI, ML, container, DevOps, and all. This is my LinkedIn profile, and this is my official email ID. Right? So we'll start with the very basic thing. Why are we here for this session, and what RPA is? So RPA is a technology which has been adopted in the couple of years heavily by the enterprises and across the industries. That it is one of the emerging technology nowadays, and more companies and enterprises are adopting this as a part of their IT suite. So what RPA is basically? So RPA is nothing but robotic process automation, right? Is the use of software with artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities to handle high volume, repeatable tasks that previously required human to perform. and so forth. So this sounds kind of a very difficult definition of RPA. But in general term, if let me make it simplify for every one of you, right? RPA is nothing but a piece of software which automates a task which is done by human, which is manual in nature, which is high in volume, rule-based and repetitive. What it means by manual in nature, definitely is like some person is sitting in the office and doing a day in, day out task repeatedly every day. Right? So rather than the RPA can come into the picture, and this kind of task can be automated using the RPA tools. The other candidate is high volumes, right? So there could be multiple tasks can be performed in a very high volume. We take an example of a customer service, right? Where huge number of customer representative are doing the task day in, day out in a high volume, right? So these are the potential candidate for the RPA. Right? Rule-based, so because the human is the same, like human, if I'm a person doing some task, I exactly know what kind of rule needs to be followed. And I know if this situation comes, I need to handle this. If this situation comes, I need to handle like that. So this is nothing but a rule-based and repetitive, which is mandate in nature, and we are doing it day in, day out. So RPA can play a role into this situation. These are the potential candidates. And why RPA? Right? Because it mimics the user. That's why it is very easy to implement, very easy to adapt, and it doesn't need any super skills to be done. Right? Anyone can go and learn the RPA. This is the basic need of the RPA, where the business user or the citizen developer or who has having certain background, who can understand technology or can understand the logic, can use the RPA. It runs 24/7, right? Because this is a software, it doesn't ask or have a need of like an employee. I can work only 8 hours or 9 hours a day, right? A bot can run and perform the human's task in the background 24/7, 365 days. So these are the basic thing, what RPA is, why RPA, and what are the potential candidates which can be covered and automated by the RPA. So let's move. This was the very base thing. I hope some of you must have been aware of this technology. Some of you must have been heard about it, and some of for you it's very new for you all. Let's move to the next slide. So why enterprises are picking up RPA as a technology in their strategic move to digital transformation. Right? So there are certain benefits out of the box available for this, which we spoke in the previous slide, some of them, like cost saving, of course, because once the tool has been purchased and implemented, right, you don't need to rewrite your own software. It can perform on an existing software on an application. You don't need to modify it, right? You can save the cost by which is performed by the human. It's not meant for replacing the human. It's meant to help or aid the workforce in the enterprises or an employee, which can help them out, right? So that the employee can focus more on the value-added tasks. They can do more intelligent work and let the mundane tasks be handled by the bot. Time to value. Once you are well versed with the RPA tools and technology, the time to implement the automation is very, very speedy. You can do it very swiftly. Compelling customer experience. So nowadays, with this generation G, right, everyone is into this situation where everything has to be resolved in like 2 hours, 3 hours, or instantly, right? And you can see you must be using the banking software in mobile or somewhere in the browser, right? And they have all introduced some chatbot, right, where basic things can be simply done via these chatbots. And you don't need to speak to the customer care, or you didn't need to wait about it, right? So they can do for certain tasks, yeah, but for some specific reason, you need to still connect with the customer representative, and that indicate can be solved. Right? So in most of the cases or some of the cases, the RPS in the background, right, where you can improve the customer experience. legacy integration. It's not about not everyone is on the new technology or platform, right? There are multiple companies in the enterprises, they are using legacy technology, which is way older, right? For example, mainframe. Mainframe is like 2 decades, 3 decades older technology, but still many companies are running on this. And this kind of automation will bridge the gap, right? And they can put this RP as a layer on top of it, and they can perform the automation for the legacy application as well. Faster ROI, right? Companies investing heavily in the RPA tools, and they can get the benefit or return on investment very quickly by implementing the ROI. Of course, the era is now digital, and everyone's want to go and transform from digital transformation, right? It's not about a very small or medium-sized firm of enterprise. Everyone is now on the journey of digital transformation. So RPA is one of the factors which enables them to go to that route. Automation of mundane tasks, very basic rule of this. STP is like states of processing. And let me take one example, like a person is, there is one enterprise and they have accounting team, right? In accounting team, generally, the company is purchasing daily many things, right? And they get invoices from the vendors, different vendors and the customers for the customer, right? And they send their invoices, right? This accounting team is doing like they are taking the physical copy of the invoice, right? And they are making it digitized. They are scanning it, and they do the data entry, right? Like for example, they have some ERP tools, for example, SAP or something else. It could be in-house built in. This could be built in-house as well, right? And they are just keying in this information so that they can make the payment to the vendor on a timely manner, right? So this STP is like the RPA can perform major role, right? Where you can just tell the vendor to send an email to the email box, right? And the bot can then pick up the email from the email box. It can extract the data out of it. It can interact with the ERP system and key in those information within the downstream application as well. So this is what the STP means, where very, very minimal human intervention is required. Everything from end-to-end task has been performed by the bot itself. Going to the next one. So this is what we have spoke about, the what RPA is, why RPA is required, right? And we have heard about certain problem statement as well. So how can we solve this, right? So there are many tools available in the market, right? And Datamatics TrueBot is one of the RPA software, which is like digital workforce product enabling, and it is available in the market with the, like for example, top 10 in the world, right? So TrueBot is the platform which is an RPA tool. We will see this thing in very detail. So Datamatics is having this TrueBot as a product, right, which is a RPA tool. Now, why TrueBot in compared to the other vendors available in the market, right? So TrueBot has been a strong performer in the Forrester RPA wave. So let me just introduce. There are multiple analysts available in the market who analyze the product of different vendors and then compare, and they put them into a quadrant, right? And when the enterprise wanted to go for any software, right? Even as a human or as a person, for example, you wanted to buy a mobile, right? You do your research, right? Who is the best one? Who is the best seller? Whose customer service is best, right? Where you will get the maximum feature, the minimum price and all, right? You do this analysis. For the enterprises, this list report is one of the key factor from where they can look, okay, who are the top vendors for this industry, and they will simply go for them, right? So these are the like, sorry, anyone has any question?
Chapter index exercise की new chapter start करूँगी sir.
Yeah. So if you are not having a question, please, I'll request you to keep yourself on mute. So Forrester is one of the analysts who has covered TrueBot, and we are strong performer. And in the next slide, we can see there are many more analyst coverage like the Forrester, Gartner, ISG, Peak Metrics, IDC, right? So TrueBot has been covered by this many analysts in the previous years, and there are many which has been done in this year and will be keep on applying and getting recognized from different analytics and coming up here as well. And we are moving steadily, and we are covering the market share as well as the industry is picking up TrueBot as well. So that's why this course will enable you, because this tool has been picked up by the industry. And if you are well versed and you are already certified for this particular course, you may be get a higher opportunity to work as an RPA professional where you can upskill yourself, right, and become an RPA developer. There are many multiple roles. We'll speak about it, but yeah, you can start with some kind of a role where the RPA developer is there. The Datamatics TrueBot is basically having the geographies where it is maximum getting generation the revenue from the North America, UK, Europe, right, Indian subcontinent, Middle East and Latin America also. And this RPA tool as a software is not bound to any industry. It's like horizontal in nature. It can be implemented in banking and finance, travel and logistics, manufacturing, government, public sector, insurance, public sector bank, private bank, you name it, all the industry is eligible for RPA to implement as an automation. So that's why this is the beauty of this RPA product, why you should learn this skill, because you don't need to understand the industry. It can apply to anywhere, because you just wanted to automate the task being done by the user or an employee. Let's take some of the example which TrueBot as a product solved. We are not mentioning any name of the customer, but yeah, you can have a glimpse of it. Like one of the largest bank in India, right? They were opening the tab-based account, right? Here nowadays we know, right? We can open the account very quickly by just uploading our certain documentation and all, and it can be done. So before implementing the automation, right? They were able to open only 3,000 account. But after implementing the automation, now they are able to open 15,000 accounts a day. This is the huge significance benefit can be taken by the enterprise by implementing the RPA. Let's take one more, like healthcare in the US, which is HIPAA claim forms. So there were 800 operators, like there were 800 employees who are doing this mundane task day in, day out. And after implementing this automation, the number has been reduced to 650. This 150 person, right? It's not laid off. They have got an opportunity to move to the different domain. They can upskill themselves. They can move to a different direction. They can perform more valuable tasks to the company, right? And they can grow themselves as well. So Datamatics is supporting with the help of FutureSkills and NASCOM, the two courses, right? Where the one of is the TrueBot designer and one is the TrueBot cockpit. We'll see in detail, but this particular session is meant for TrueBot cockpit. We'll see what it is and what can it be done. So basically TrueBot designer is the platform or a tool which can be installed on your laptop machine or a virtual machine, and you can design and build the program for automation. This is the desktop application like an IDE where you do the coding part like a Java, .NET or Python. This is a tool where you can build your program or RP as a bot or process. Once you have built it, test it, and you are ready to deploy to run in production for the automation purpose of the enterprise, right? You need to have a cockpit. So cockpit is a web-based application, right? Which enables you to like create, manage, deploy, and monitor bots throughout the enterprise. You can manage the entire RPA program using this TrueBot cockpit. And in-depth understanding of what is going on, like dashboard, the MIS for the management and all. So multiple things has been covered into this two modules. So these are the two pillars, right, for TrueBot and as an RPA tool. That we'll see in detail today for TrueBot cockpit. So why you should take these courses, right? So what are the salient features? Like these are short in duration, as you know, right? One is the TrueBot designer is 4.5 hours, and the cockpit is 2.5 hours. Right? Learn to create from scratch. So this is designed for a person who has minimal or no background from the technology or development task. They can simply adapt to this quickly and easily, right? Practical based modules. These are some realistic scenarios has been covered inside this course, and you can start building your own bots. It is free of cost. This is the main thing, and it is government affiliated. So once you have registered with the FutureSkills FSP, you will get a certificate from them and certificate from Datamatics TrueBot as well, which is valuable in market because once you go to the enterprise for any job role of RPA, if you are certified, definitely you will have more weightage than the others. And it's not only about TrueBot, but once you learn about this platform of RPA, you should be able to like, because you know how RPA as a tool, RPA as a technology works, and you can apply or you can utilize many more tools available in the market as well. So these are the salient features for the students. So Gartner, as I mentioned, is one of the biggest analysts in the world. Is predicting that worldwide RPA software spending to reach $2.9 billion in 2022. You can think of it. This is the huge amount will be spent by the enterprise for implementing RPA. Right? And this shows the tremendous potential why one should acquire these skills, because more and more industries picking this technology, and definitely they will need a workforce, right? Where if they can get readily available certified developers, it will be for them better for them, so that they can simply move to the next role or skill and start performing, and they can get ROI out of the employee as well. Right? So some more benefits, right? Great amazing opportunities, developing technical profession automation. Right? It has been identified by NASCOM, and it is considered as a national occupancy standard as well, defined by the GOI, Government of India as well. It's free of cost, right? It's many beneficial. It can be done by student, working professional, right? Who wanted to restart their career as well. This is one of the golden opportunity. You can simply learn by yourself at your pace, right? This is a self-paced course. It's an LMS tool where you can simply log in and go through each module. And at the end, you need to give the question and answer. And once you are passing those out, you will be able to certify it. So these are the key benefits for the learners, and why should we do it? Go to the next one. So these are the like indicative job roles available in the RP industry. I'll call it RP industry because it is exponentially growing in nature. So you can become an RPA developer or an engineer, RPA solution architect, RPA consultant, RPA business analyst, and RPA administrator. Everyone has a different job profile, and they will perform a different task as well. So nowadays, the enterprise appoints a COE, Center of Excellence for RPA, right, where multiple leaders from different verticals, like from HR, IT, accounts, or any functional, they form a group and they say, okay, we wanted to automate the things. And because of that, once they form the RPA COE excellence, they will start building the RPA team as well. So these are the potential roles can be picked up by each one of you based on your need, and you can become one of it. But yeah, base thing is you can start with the RPA developer, and then you can continually run the journey, and you can do it. So this is the link for Datamatics LMS, but yeah, you need to first register to the FSP, Futures Prime Skill. And then once you are registered there, you will be like redirecting you here to register again, and you can go to the course from here. So to move to the cockpit, we need to understand a very high level architecture of the TrueBot product, right? Without it, it's going to be difficult for us to understand and implement it, and also even a learning as well. So don't just be bothered about this complex diagram in front of you. I'll make it very simple and easy. So we spoke about two modules, right? Designer and cockpit. So in the left-hand side, you can see this is the designer, right? Where you can build your bots, right? And you can automate. What kind of application you can automate? You can automate web-based application, you can automate SAP-based application, you can automate Citrix, desktop and all, mainframe as I mentioned. There could be a possibility of surface image-based automation as well. Right? And it has multiple features available to build a bot, because this is the very first key to do. And then once you have developed the bot, right, then you need to export it as a package. Right? The way we do it for other programming language, right? For example, if I'm building a .NET program, once you have done development and testing, you will simply build it and you will have some kind of output, like kind of in form of DLL or in form of an EXE, right? So this is nothing but a package which will be imported by the cockpit. We heard, right, what cockpit is. It is a centralized application to manage the entire RPA program. It is a web-based application hosted in a web server. So from there, cockpit administrator. So we have different personas here. Now we'll focus more on the cockpit side. So what does it have? It has multiple personas. Person who is acting as an administrator of the entire program of the RPA, who is managing how many bots will be there, at what time it should run, what kind of bot should be run in the cockpit, and all, so and so forth, right? And there could be a different role of a bot executor. For example, the bot is built for one type of an employee. For example, in the IT industry, right, the filling of a timesheet is a very generic thing. Almost every employee has to fill up their timesheet, right? The portal remains the same. It's about just changing data also. That is the only difference, right? So what will happen? An RPA developer will build a bot to automate this process, and it can be deployed as a bot in the cockpit for all the users who wanted to do the automation for themselves. So this is where the bot executor role plays a key role, right? Where it is for the end user who is going to execute and who owns the bot and who will run it, on a daily basis, right? Which is a like digital workforce assistant for them, right? Side by side, the bot can work for you and you can focus on more value-added tasks. So at the high end, what all features we have, we'll cover it, all this feature in the coming slides. In the right-hand side, right? So once you have the designer, you have the package, you just need to design and push it to the cockpit. And from there, you need to run the bot, right? So for running a bot, you need to have a machine. So in the rightmost side, we can see, we call it as a TrueBot stations, where the bot is going to be deployed and going to perform the automation, what it meant for. Right? So these are the three key pillars of TrueBot product and architecture. And on the top, let's see what is this. These are the application platform stack. Not limited to this, but we have highlighted major of them, right, which can be automated. So for example, you wanted to automate certain portal in the Chrome browser, in the I browser, it could be a Java application, right? It could be a Salesforce, it could be an Excel operations. Right? We'll see one of the bot in action where we can see the performing Excel operations. It can be done on the cloud as well, like AWS automation you can do. You can send an emails. You can modify the PDF, you can perform the operations for the FTP and all, so on and so forth. Right? So this is a very high level architecture of the product. And if you understand this part, then you will be able to become a solution architect, because you need to understand each and every module and how it works and how they interact with each other and what is the significance of each of them in the RPA life cycle. The way we have the software development life cycle, similarly the bot development lifecycle is also there. That you need to follow this process, and you need to understand all these tools and technology within the product. So these are all part of the product and available as a modules. Any questions so far?
There are no questions which has come in the chat or question and answer, Kalpan, but I
Okay.
had a question. Remember
Yeah.
we discussed that you'll be sharing a link where people can go and practice and install their own.
Yeah. So I've kept it that link as the end of the
Okay.
session, and
Okay.
definitely we'll be putting this links into the chat as well, so that every participant can copy it to their local folder or file, and they can use it to register themselves, download it, and run the trial version of it.
Okay, so there's one question which has just now come, which is, can you please explain difference between administrator and bot executioner again?
Sure, yeah. So in the cockpit application, right? So all the application have different roles and responsibility, right? Where a person who is logged in as a normal user can perform XYZ operation, and a person who is having more rights can perform many more tasks or perform multiple options are available in the application. So here the administrator is like who is managing the entire RP operations of an enterprise. For example, there are 10 bots, right, which needs to be done for 10 different departments, for example. The bot could be from the HR, the account, the IT, and different like marketing, sales, pre-sales. There could be n number of departments, right? Who is the person they need to connect, and they need to ask, I need this automation to be done, right? They will come to the administrator, they will raise the request. I wanted to automate this thing, and the bot administrator will, the cooperative are going to like link with the developer, they will get it done. And once the package has been handed over to the administrator, he is going to create a bot for respective users in the respective team. For example, an account, for example, I am a person from the accounting team. So I will become a bot executor, right? Who is responsible to execute the bot, because that bot is built for my automation. I am doing this invoice data entry day in, day out, right? And for me, I need to have this bot so that it can perform my task via the automation, and I'll not be doing it manually, right? So I can be only able to like run this bot, but how to upload the bot, how to configure the bot, right? How to configure the application, right? What all role rights will be available for the different users, right? There will be different credentials will be required. For example, if you are a person doing operations in banking, where the credentials are very critical in nature, right? It cannot be handed over to the everyone, right? Then this kind of role, the administrator can perform this kind of all critical tasks, which is meant for him and is responsible for it. And for the end user, as a bot executor, it is very simple. You simply log into the application and run your bot. So these are the key personas we can see. There are many more, but yeah, these are the very key differentiator roles, where one is managing the entire program and application, and one is only responsible for executing the automation and the bots.
Sure, Kalpan. We had one more question, but I think Mrityunjay is already answering it and he's answered it. That's there. And beside that, Kalpan, we had a lot of women who actually wish to come back to workforce. If you remember, we discussed this, and we thought RPA as a technology could be a good, beginner guide for them, and how it can help them in coming back to workforce. So could you just elaborate on that part?
Yeah. So I've mentioned this journey, right? Now, the account department person, his or her task is being done by the bot now, right? Now, what kind of task he will be able to do now? Like, for example, I am the accounting person and a bot is made for my task. So out of my 9 hours job, the bot is doing 8 hours of work. Now I have left with more 8 hours, right? So we have actually seen in various organization, we have actually seen it while implementing it. In this, so they have nominated themselves. Like, for example, they have seen this automation. They were excited about this automation and RPA. and they have so willingness to become an RPA developer. So they have transformed from an accounting background, which is non-technical in nature, but they understood, okay, I know my process very well. And this using this tool is extremely easy. Right? So they have decided to move to the next level. Right? And what they can do is they have, because the enterprise already purchased our product, right? And we give trainings to them as well as a partner or as a customer. What they did after some time, once they are well versed with the product and automation, now that account person like is now becoming an RPA developer, and they are doing the automation for different departments. Right? So this is a real example we have seen. People can easily switch or migrate from the existing role to the next one. And according to many surveys, right, in the next coming 3-4 years, 30% of the IT has to upskill themselves. Otherwise, they'll be out of date. Because this kind of task will be done via multiple automations, and there are so many tools available in the market that which can does this mundane task. Right? So until unless we upskill ourselves, right? Apart from this, there is also one more thing like which is no code, low code platform, right? Where anyone can go and create an application. Right? Where no code, low code platform is that we don't need to have a hard skill, right? For programming language, you just need to understand how the application should be working and how it should look and how you can build it up. Right? Without having any coding knowledge, you can build this kind of application, and this kind of tools are already available in the market. To name a few, like the Power Automate, OutSystem is one of the uh, bigger player in this role, and also the TrueBot Designer is also a low code no code platform. So this is how you can transform or upgrade your skills, or you can restart your career as well into this domain where this demand is very huge. Like the AI, ML, and the cloud is one of the highest demanding skill in the IT industry, right? But RPA is also equivalent important nowadays. So this should be a motivation and a reason for you to go for this course, become an RPA professional, and you can always either you can upskill and move to the next role, or you can restart your career with this platform and opportunity.
Sure. Any other questions? I think there's one question which Mrityunjay is answering in the Q&A.
Okay.
We
We need to cover many more things. So yeah, let's move on.
you
Yeah,
can
we can always put a chat in it. So yeah, so now we'll simply move to the, I'll cut down the slides so that we can actually see the application in action, right? What I was speaking from last 20 minutes, right? Let's see in action also. But let me just cover a very high level things, right? So as I mentioned, the cockpit is a full program. You can control the entire program, right? From it. It is an enterprise grade security, because security is major concerns nowadays. Every enterprise is very like we heard about incidents of ransomware or some attack somewhere happening, right? And those are applications only. So it is enterprise grade security. We have certified with multiple vendors, and certification has been done on this product so that it can be easily accepted by the enterprise, right? Insights of the RPA program, right? What is means like at the high level in the enterprise, what is going on as an RPA? Right? How many bots are running? How much time it is taking? What is the ROI I'm getting out of it? And this kind of insights of for the entire RPA program can be visible or can be done by this insight of program. We have different dashboards. We have analytics inbuilt analytics into it, right? Where this is a BI tool where you can show this kind of information in a graphical and tabular format. Flexibility of deployment. So this tool is flexible enough, like you can deploy it on an on-premise machine. It could be deployed on VM, or it could be deployed on a cloud as well. Right? So it works with multiple flexibility of deployment. Very easy to use. and optimize the utilization of the bots. Right? Because of once you have this dashboard in front of you, you exactly know, okay, this bot is being used only for 8 hours, but bot can work 24/7. Then you can leverage those bots to work multiple tasks down the clock, and you can get maximum utilization of the bots. Key features: user management. Of course, it's an application. You need to create and manage the users. You need to manage the bots. You need to manage the machines where the bot is going to run as a bot station, right? As I mentioned, there will be some critical kind of information, credentials will require to be there. So you have a inbuilt credential vault where you can store the credentials securely. Right? Audit logging, it will capture all the actions of the user in a detailed level, who has logged in, who has done what kind of bot has been triggered by a person, from which IP and all, because this is very critical in nature. When some kind of audit comes in, and it's very handy for them. Right? Alerts and notification, it has a inbuilt health monitoring system where the cockpit is going to monitor the health of the bot, health of the machine and all, and it will send the alert and notification to the bot executor and the administrator within the application, as well as via the WhatsApp, SMS, and email. It is security compliance, and maybe we have to integrate via the third-party application as well. As I mentioned, it is an inbuilt TrueBot analytics, where it can give the insights, ready-to-use reports, and you can have a ROI dashboard as well, where you can see what is the benefit you are getting out of your investment. So this is where the slide ends. So this is the slide I've kept it for you. Let me just copy it and put this in the chat. Right? So once you are gone through this course, right, you need to do the hands-on part as well, right? Because by going through the videos and learning about is one aspect, and doing a hands-on is a different aspect. Because once you go to the industry, they'll expect you to have a hands-on experience as well. You can simply go to these links and you can download the software for a free trial. There is a immense help available for the entire product, right? At this link, everything is mentioned in detail, step-by-step guides and all, what it does, how it does, what to do, prerequisite and all. Right? If you face any kind of difficulties, you can always reach to the TrueBot support at datamatics.com. So let me just share this information over the chat so that participant can take the benefit out of it. One suggestion, you can download it anytime, but activate it when you are actually trying to utilize this tool as a hands-on part, because it has a 30-day trial period. Right? The moment you activate it, it will start the counter of the days, and at the end of the 30 days, it will be expired, and then after you will be not be able to use this tool. Yeah, but we are in talk with the internal teams. On case basis, we can extend for certain duration because we have tied up with FSP, and then we can grant some extended licenses as well. We are still working on it because we are doing these sessions and we want our students and users to do the hands-on part as well. So we are still working on it. So this is where the end of the slides is there. And I'll be now.
Kalpan, there are some questions. A couple of people who are actually a part of our women group, also some of the other people, they would like to do some hands-on. And also I am taking a liberty to extend and ask you for this. We have a lot of women who are with us, and maybe if you give some project hands-on to them, which can be given to them, and maybe they can complete it and come back. And if you have any internships that can be extended to them, then that is something you can consider. And also about the program and project, if you have anything.
So Mrutyunjay would like to take this question up.
Right, Anjana. Sanjana, we will think about it and maybe we'll have a follow-up with you, and then we can share this offline over the email, the details about a capstone project like that. We are also thinking for other courses. So similarly for this we can do. So maybe today's session, Kalpan will go through the current flow and we'll have some demo bots running using cockpit, which was the agenda. But as a follow-up, we may send the links for some projects where they can try their own. And if any assistance they require, we will also try to help, and we may have another Q&A session like that if there are any difficulty. And some our TrueBot support guys, they can reach out to them. They will help them in installing, or if they have any questions in terms of creating any bots and all, that we can plan. So is that make sense to you?
Absolutely, that makes a great sense. I think a lot of them wants to do that hands-on and also take it as an experience, because only then they'll know what is that they are learned in the process.
Correct. So we can work out that, and we can assign some project, also small projects where they can create some small bots, 2-3 use cases, and after that they can try. We can assist for initial days, and maybe then after that they can continue practice on their own, and they can ask questions if they have any to our TrueBot support team. There is always 24 by support available. They can reach out by email. Mostly we provide support by email currently. If needed, we will give 1 or 2 personal numbers if required.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mrityunjay. And a couple of questions are about what is the duration of the course, because I think some people have not even started the course. It's only 2.5 hours. So you can just sit and in one go, you should be able to do it. And, Kalpan has shared a link. That's actually what you can install your own TrueBot and, practice with that. And like they said, they've extended the licensing for us till the time it's available for FutureSkills Prime, so that you can practice on it. And that kinds of gives you hands-on. Also, for a lot of you who are interested in project, I think Mrityunjay will share something exciting soon.
Okay, so let's continue for you're seeing the application in front of us apart from the PPT. So this is the login screen of the cockpit, where everything is like rollback driven. So let me just log in into it. Before that, let me just show, because this is purely for the cockpit course, right? Let me just have a glimpse of what the TrueBot designer is. So this is, I'll not go in detail, but yeah, this is what the TrueBot designer is, right? Which is installed on a laptop. It is a desktop application where you can design your bot, right? We have inbuilt component for, like, you can name it, it's there. Like 500 plus integrator, like you can deal with database, CSV, email, FTP, right? 365, like document automation, Excel, programming, and so on and so forth. Once you have designed it, you can test it, and then you need to publish a package which can be imported inside the cockpit, and then you can run it as a bot. So just very brief introduction so that you know this is the base step to do, and then you can use the cockpit. Because a designer is the key. Once you have this package with you as a bot, and then only you can consume it inside the cockpit. A very brief introduction about what designer is. We'll have a separate, I think, Anjana, we have a separate session for designer as well, right?
We will plan that separate session for designer. Yeah. This is just for cockpit.
Yeah, so there will, like there were in this designer itself makes sense, more sense in terms of hands-on part. We can think and plan accordingly. So yeah, coming back to the cockpit part. So I have logged in, and we can see I'm logged in as a administrator. Right? Because I'm an administrator, I have available all the menus with me. I can do all the features available for me, like right from configuration of the application till creating a bot and everything by myself. But if I'm logged in as a bot executor, I may be have only limited options where I can perform very limited tasks, which is only pertaining or suitable for my role, right, as a bot executor. This is what the difference I wanted to see. It was somewhere back in the question, right? So let's see what this screen is. So the moment you logged into the cockpit application, you land into the dashboard where you can have the entire picture of what is going on in real time, right? So I can see there are 3 bots has been ran today. Right? There were 2 bots in the cockpit. There is one machine available where I can run the bot, and there are 8 users in my application. And I can slice and dice my data according to the need. I can see from a different range, or I can simply switch to the historical data as well, right? Where we can see some more. As I mentioned, the notification part, here are the notification. It will keep on coming to the user, what is going on and all. Everything is covered in detail for all these features in the course itself. It's better to have the background and looking at the real application, and then going to the course will make more sense, and you will reconnect everything which is done in this session while you are actually attending the course in the LMS. So, yep. So here I can see the bifurcation of how many bots were there, how many fail, how many in progress, right? Because as an administrator, I want to know this thing. How many bots are running, how many fail in a day and why it failed, right? How many is in progress, how many is scheduled, right? This is where we can see. Let's see at one of the executed bot, and we'll see this bot in action as well. So I can see this bot at name of the bot, when it ran, what the schedule, how long it ran, right? And if I go in more details, I can see very granular level detail as well, because this is critical in nature, right? When it was started, how long it took, when it completed and all about so many more things as well. So as I mentioned, once you have designed your bot, you need to import it to the cockpit. So this is the menu, the bot management, go to the process, and I need to add into the add process, and you can browse that package which is exported from the designer, and you can upload it here. So we already have example of uploaded processes. Once you upload it, you can see the information about it, and it will be having a version as well. Because the automation development also a kind of a development only. Right now, you have built a basic thing, but there is a change in the application, or there is a change in the workflow, and you need to modify it and you need to re-upload it, right? So you can maintain version of a particular bot or a process, right? Where we can see some of the cases will have 2 versions, right? Here we can see like 1.0 and 1.1. Right? You can manage these versions as well. Once you have created, uploaded the process, then you can create a bot. What is a bot? Bot is nothing but a combination of like you having a process and you are aligning on which machine this process should run. And that's why we call it as a bot. So simply, I can see all the process available to me. I can see and select the process, and you need to define on which machine this bot should run. That's why this is an administrator role. He is managing everything for the end user. Right? The end user don't need to do this thing because they are not that technical in nature, or maybe that's not their role. Right? That's why it is a part of the administrator's task. You need to search for the right machine where the bot will run. Okay? You can allocate it, and then you have your bot ready. Right? How to run a bot? It's very simple, one-step task. Right? Let's see, for example, let me just first take the machine's RDP where the bot is going to run. I'm taking it and connecting to a machine where the bot is going to run. Challenges to come out from the RDP. Just unshare my screen for a moment so I can come out from the RDP and we'll see in action. Just stopping my sharing for a moment. Out and let me share my screen. So we can see this is the machine where we are going to run the bot. See it in action as well. So to run a bot, you just need to find the right bot for you. Because I'm an administrator, I can see all the bots available in the cockpit enterprise, but I wanted to run this particular bank reconciliation bot. What it does it perform the reconciliation of different statements and check what is the amount is properly credit, debit and all, which is some specific nature and workflow for some department. So to run the bot, simply hit on this play button. As simple as that. Now to see the progress of the bot, we need to go to the dashboard again and we can see the newly played bot status will be visible to here to us. We can see in real time, right, where I can, as of now, the bot is deploying to that machine because as it is a web-based application, right, it will deploy the bot first and then it will start execution. So let me just keep the screen visible here as well. So basically, this bot is like reading the documents from the email and it's going to perform certain Excel operations automatically. So it is right now deploying, running in the background. So you can see the execution has been started. You will see bot should appear in any moment and it will launch, keep on launching the applications. You'll see the progress also. We can see the bot has been launched. It has completed 20% of logical tasks. You can see that bot has opened an Excel file and it is performing certain operations as well. So you can see that it is doing matching between multiple actions along, right, which will take a lot of time for the end user, maybe spending a day to do it, and bot can complete it within minutes. It's keep on doing the thing, it's matching as per the pre-built rules and all, right? And it's doing it, right? The bot is performing its task. And when the task will be done, the bot will close these applications and it will come out and you can see the status of the bot as successfully completed. This is will be the value added by the RPA tool, right? This is what the capability of RPA, not limited to this, but yeah, it could be any of the use cases or project which can be automated. But I mentioned the potential candidate could be repetitive in nature. It should be have fixed rules. It should be bulk, volume. These are the key criteria to identify the automation candidates. What should be automated, right? This is done by the bot. And yeah, you can see the progress. It is still going on. So let's move to the next part. This is what we wanted to showcase, what actual the automation means and how it works from the cockpit itself. So all the tasks are done by the bot developer. Now the administrator bot is just managing this execution part. If I wanted to perform this task, go and log into the cockpit, click on the play button, and your task has been done on different machine. Bot is doing this without asking for any pause, leave, right? And it's not will not say time pause there, and it will keep on running for 365 by 24 by 7 by 365. And yeah, we can see the bot is completed and the execution has been 100%. And let's see, and we can see that all this application has been closed by the bot. All the Excel application is no more available, so that it is cleaning up the open application the way the user is going to do it. Right? So this is some kind of Excel application, but yeah, it could be an application which is a browser-based one, right, where it is going to fill up a form. This could be a different scenarios. Now let's move to the next one. So two things, I can go and play or hit the bot, or I can schedule it, where there is a concept of called attended and unattended bot, right? Unattended is you don't need any human interaction to be there. It will trigger automatically as per the defined time, right? So I can define a schedule, which bot you want to do and what frequency. Frequency could be any, it could be minute-wise, daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, yearly. Whatever frequency you want, you can schedule this bot and it will automatically trigger at that point in time and perform that particular task. Here we can see this is the very first, this is the bot we have just run, and we can see how long it worked and so on and so forth. Second part, these are the user management. You can create, you can modify, and you can manage the user as well. As I mentioned, auditing and security part. So you can see that I have just logged into the application, right? And it will showcase me all the work I've done so far. So I've logged in, right? I've played this bot, and this has been done by me, and this is done, right? This complete audit trail is available at the disposal. Configuration, as I mentioned, as an administrator, I can manage what kind of authentication is required. Like it could be form based, it could be LDAP or SAML based. But communication, you need to set up the email server, SMS server, or WhatsApp, so that it can deliver the notification alerts, right? So and so forth. We have so many configurations which the administrator can do to perform the automation and management. As I mentioned, we have the ROI, built ROI as well. So here we can see the ROI is nothing but return on investment, right? Where you need to define certain pre-RPA data, like what if the bank reconciliation was, so how many people were doing it, how much time it was taking up, right? What was the cost of the infrastructure, like the machine, the server and all, right? What is the percentage of the error, because human can make mistake, right? If it is a mundane or repetition task, but bot will ensure that there is a very minimal percentage of error. Average cost per person. And once we have automated this, we can have this benefit available, like how much time it is taking now, right? What is the number of bot is running, right? Number of is reduced now, right? What is the cost average per person? But here, the management can implement this, fill up this data and take the ROI out of this implementation of the product. Analytics I mentioned is there. There are readily certain dashboard available, disposable, like how many bot session, what were the highest machine used, lowest machine used, the failed bots, right? What was the reasons and all, data management dashboard as well across the organization. Health checkups, it has a pre-built health checkup monitoring system where it's going to monitor the health of the machines, the bot and all, the periodical, and it will keep on informing the user as well for uninterrupted execution of the bot 24/7. At the end, I mentioned the credential manager bot, where I can go and create and manage the credential which can be used by the bots. So this is what we wanted to cover as a high level walkthrough. So you'll find all this menu as a module in the LMS section. So you will find the bot management, configuration, platform, log, setting, and all as a different modules inside the LMS as well. You can always go and look into it, and then you can perform this hands-on as well. So, yeah, this is what we want to cover for this session. Any questions so far? Yeah, we are running out of time. Yeah, I know we are overrunning for more 5 minutes. Yeah.
So Kalpan, we know that you've exceeded the time, and I think that's because we took a long time to discuss certain things. So thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank you for coming here, and thank you, Shikha. I don't know where are you. So bringing the Datamatics team. So I think Kalpan, the most beneficial people who would get benefit out of this session is one, people who are looking to come back to workforce, and this especially women, since they're coming after a break, and it would be easy adoption to the RPA, since it
Yes,
doesn't need, it's
absolutely.
a no code, like you said. And so that is one area. And for TrueBot designer, we'll definitely catch up with you. And for the project that people keep messaging in the chat box, also a lot of people are interested. That's some area where we'll liaise back on
Sure, yeah.
with you.
We can work out this, and definitely we can share those details with the participant.
Yeah, sure. So anybody has any last minute queries, because we already exceeded past
So
7.
this was we
So
wanted to cover. We are open for questions. We can spend some more time, not an issue. Please feel free to ask any questions, any doubts, anything apart from this as well, like in terms of RPA or what is industrial. You can ask any question, we'll be able to answer.
there was one question that I thought I'll ask you. What is the demand of TrueBot, so that people can accordingly learn it in the market?
So we have, that's why we have covered those analyst coverage, right? And we have there are couple of thousands bot running in the production, and there are we have multinational customer as well. So I'll not be allowed to name them, but yeah, we have from different domains like banking, BFSI, healthcare, you name it, we have those customers in it, because nowadays, as I mentioned, this is a very emerging technology, and it is being picked up by almost all the enterprises which are big in nature, because without automation, they cannot live now. Right? And they are going for, TrueBot is very competitive in with the other competitors as well, and it is being picked up by multiple industries and enterprises as well. So it is picking up, and it will keep on increasing as well. So I see a lot of traction from the US, UK, and all, and we are also targeting the Indian market as well. So the limit is the scope is not limited to India itself. The scope is for it can be across the globe, right? And this is what a benefit can be taken, and that's why TrueBot is performing very well. And we definitely as a product team also, our main motto is to increase the market share, get the maximum revenue, and take more and more logos and more customers into our bucket. But it's a journey which every product and every company would want it to go for. Yeah, this is what I can give it as an answer.
Anjana, just to add, Kalpan.
Yeah.
We are having now, since more customers are getting added to it. So there are 2 ways where one can work with TrueBot. 3 ways, in fact. One is our end customers. Yes, directly for some of the customers, we are providing support, or through our channel partners. And there are many channel partners we are onboarding. So in future, there will be many professionals, TrueBot professionals, if they are already there in the market with the TrueBot train. So those channel partners will be going to acquire them or hire them. And the end customers also, like any other product. Let's say there is a Microsoft product. Now people are getting certified with Microsoft, but not working directly with Microsoft, but some XYZ company as a service provider or a product-based company. Similar future I can see for TrueBot also, where our channel partners or clients will be directly hiring TrueBot professionals.
Sure. We have Aparna. Aparna, I've allowed you to, talk, so you can ask your question now.
Yeah, thanks, Anjana. So, Kalpan, firstly, thank you for the very useful session. I had a question on the architecture slide. So, in that slide where you showed how the TrueBot designer and the cockpit and the the various applications that we could automate. So, one of the blocks there in the application, the box was AWS, and I guess there would be similarly Azure and also one question. Yeah, one question that came to my mind is that all these platforms, specifically AWS, they have their own automation. So, for example, so when you were showing the TrueBot designer, I saw something like YAML files over there. So, even AWS has something similar, like similar automation using YAML, like something like CloudFormation. So I was just wondering, where does TrueBot fit in that case? Like if AWS, if an application, say suppose there is some company, some client, and their application is actually deployed on AWS, then the AWS solutions themselves would take care of the automation, right? So how would TrueBot fit in that kind of a situation?
Sure, definitely. Wonderful question. It will have a more clarity for other users as well. I hope so. So AWS is like we do automate for certain piece of it. So you must be aware of different services of automation, AWS, right? Where you mentioned a lot of them, but I'll take one example of bucket, right? So this automation is not at the AWS platform itself. For example, I am performing a task on my laptop, right? And I'm keeping my file on AWS S3 bucket, right? That is the use case, right? So for example, as I mentioned, I have an Excel file, which I keep on doing. I am a sales guy or a marketing guy. I need to fill up my report daily and keep it safe somewhere so that it is, I can access from anywhere. So the cloud bucket is one of the example where I can store it, right? And now I want to automate also. So what the bot will do is it will connect to the AWS service. It will download the file to my local machine where the bot is running. It will perform the automation, maybe just data entry of my visits and all, how much time I took, what is the potential candidate or the sales opportunity I have, and it will save it up and again push it back to the AWS S3 bucket. This is how the TrueBot as a platform plays a role. It's not directly doing the automation of the application, like hosting the application, running the application, right? Managing the YAML file, building of the application. It is still in the scope of the automation for the user's task. But it's a similar way it is can be done for the Azure as well. Very common example like G Suite, right? Where we can access the spreadsheet on the browser itself or from the mobile, right? You don't need to have a license for it. You can still automate it, right? So what TrueBot does, it has a connector. So basically TrueBot is a platform where we need to have a connector for all these providers. There are n number of providers in the market. So we are keep on bringing. So every year we keep on adding connectors for 200, 300 plus, right? So that we can satisfy all the need of the customer and the end user. So you can also automate a Google Sheet as well, which is already there in the cloud, right? But it is service provided from the Gmail or Google, right? So this is how this kind of different applications can be automated. And this is where the role of the TrueBot as a product and tool comes and play in the larger, say, wizard as an automation part mostly. I hope I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah, that clarified. Thank you.
So we have one question. What is the next level? I think it is designer, right? Kalpan, I answered it on behalf of you.
Yes.
So the next progression to the cockpit is the designer.
Yep.
We have
So
both
we
the
now
courses.
know how exactly you can run the bot, how to manage the bot and all, but how to create a bot, right? That is still with the designer piece.
Great. So I wouldn't want to take your evening away, Kalpan. Thank you so much for taking out time, and guys, thank you for attending. So Kalpan and Mrityunjay, thank you for making it to the session. I think a lot of people will get benefited by this session, and we will meet for the next one of designer session. It's a very small course for everyone. Just finish it. And we will have
less than a
assessment.
movie's time, like it's just about it's 2.5 hours, right? Like
yeah, I know.
Into a movie, not more than that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Right. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Kalpan and
thanks,
Mrityunjay.
Shikha, for arranging the session.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shikha.
everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Happy learning for all of you. And yeah, great upskilling ahead. Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.